Okay, so I decided to start doing videos of things that have happened to me. And my husband and our son, because I want to kind of catalog it. And writing it down is great and all, but writing it down doesn't mean it's gonna last, as I have found out the hard way, living on boats and stuff. So I'm going to do a series where I'm just gonna sit here and talk. You can listen to it if you like while you're doing something else. You know, you don't have to stare at the screen. I'm not gonna put anything interesting up in the video. It's just me sitting here. If you're watching right now, I'm just sitting here. So I would like to know, like, where do you think I should begin? With my life. I think, personally, I'm going to begin with my birth. It's the easiest place to start. That's where I'll start. Okay? So, this is video number 1 of my story, our story, my whole pack's story, stories, whatever you want to call it. So, I was born early, premature, in November. My parents had been married, you know, let's see, earlier that year, or the year before? No, it was the year before. That's right, the year before. Dad is military. They actually met at like a church function or something like that. And because my mom attended church, my dad my dad was seen as like some kind of, I can't remember how my mom put it, like pristine or snobby. No, it wasn't snobby. That's not the term she used. But something of the sort, because his clothes were always so clean and white. Come to find out, the reason why is because my dad did not know how to do laundry. He had never been taught how to do laundry. And so he used bleach for everything. So everything was bleach washed. And it was just easier to wear white if you're going to bleach everything and it's going to fade the colors anyway. Might as well, right? At least that's what I remember my mom telling me as I was growing up. So yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I was born, moved around, lived all over the place, kind of stuff. All kinds of stuff happened. I ended up in the early 90s, like 92, 93, I think it was 93, something like that. I started to get super skinny. Like, my mom could see my spine in my back. And so she took me to the hospital, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And as I've said before in other videos, I have had problems, probably because I was premature and a mix of genetics. I've had tons of medical problems. Type 1 diabetes just happens to be one of them. Developed a little bit later. That doctors have since attributed to a traumatic experience. So it's a trauma-induced diabetes. My body tried to kill itself is what happened. They call it something along the lines of like cellular self-suicide or something like that. I don't totally remember. That's actually fairly new. Like, I don't think that's in any of the books or anything, unless it came out in the last couple of years. Like, I think the last 3 years? So yeah, that's a thing. Type 1 there are many different types of diabetics, as hopefully you know. Whenever somebody says diabetic, most people think of type 2, which is the one where your body is suffocating its pancreas ability to produce insulin. It's not dead. It's working on dying. It's working on it. Now, type 1 diabetes, the insulin producing part of your pancreas is pretty dead. So yeah. There are other types. There's like type 3C where you don't have a pancreas. The pancreas does multiple things. It doesn't just produce insulin. It also produces certain types of bile and enzymes for your stomach and your intestines to process food so that you can utilize it. Your pancreas actually does a lot. Mine, unfortunately, it wasn't just the insulin hormone capabilities that got axed. It was also some of the bile and enzyme producing things. So there are certain foods that I will never be able to eat. My body will never be able to process, never have. And it is because the part of my pancreas that produces those was also axed off with the insulin hormone producing part of my pancreas. So I've got a little more going on than most average type 1 diabetics. Mine was also trauma induced. It was not genetic. Some type 1 diabetics, it is genetic. Other type 1 diabetics, it is trauma. Mine was trauma. So there's that. I guess this is a little lowdown on diabetes, right? So yeah. I have a hole in my heart. It never fully healed. They can see it. They know about it. It has caused hypertension and a heart murmur. So it's kind of weird because as long as I remember, my heart's done this where it goes, you know, if this is my heart, it'll make this sound where it's like, you know, bump, 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 and then it'll stop. And then it's like my body struggles, and then da 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 da. So it can be really scary sometimes because it'll just beep 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 stop. Beep 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 beep. And it's fast. So basically it beats really, really fast and then it stops. And then it beats really, really fast and then it stops. And it's scary. It used to be scary. It's not scary anymore. Now they have heart medications and stuff. We finally dialed it in. My heart still stops sometimes. It's never long enough for anything to happen. So I never have to worry about that. It's just the fast heart rate is what is the scariest, honestly. In the hospital, it can be scary when my heart monitors are like going crazy and then all of a sudden it stops and then it starts going crazy again. Once they read up on my files and realize this is a thing that happens, they usually chill out, they calm down. But it's pretty frightening at first. It freaks a lot of nurses out. But it's always done that I know of. It's always done that. So there's that. My breathing capabilities has been pretty crappy. And it was not until I started smoking menthol cigarettes did I have the capability to breathe a little better. It was easier. Now, my breathing capabilities haven't been good. I can't take in a full breath. I can never breathe out all the way. I've tried. I've practiced deep breathing and everything. Does not work. It's because I have problems with my lungs. Or should I say lung. So yeah, that's a thing. So supposedly it's something that's been tested and blah, 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 something that nobody ever talks about, but the smoking can, mind you, it doesn't always, can force your body to develop, like extra air sacs or something. You know, I'm not totally sure on all the logistics, legalities, or any of that crap on it. All I do know is that I am able to breathe better since smoking menthol cigarettes. Now, I'm not talking about, smoking right here. I'm not talking about chain smoking. I'm not even talking about smoking more than 4 cigarettes in a month span. Like, hardly any. And I never breathe all the way in. I can't. Maybe it's the way I'm doing it. Maybe it's how often or not often. And it's never been consistent. So it's like I don't smoke like a full fucking year. I smoke maybe a couple days out of a couple months every couple of years. So maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. There would have to be years of currently illegal studies made on people to know and understand any of it. Let me just put that out there. Years and years, possibly decades, probably, most likely, decades. You would have to have decades of against the law research. I can't think of any country that would accept the research that would need to be done on something like this. Because you would not be able to have those people be out on their own, like doing drugs or drinking or smoking more than they should. They would have to be observed 24/7, like in the bathroom. Like there's too much. Too much would have to go into all of it, and it doesn't matter. Whatever. I gotta stop rambling. So yeah, so there's that. I think I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to start on the next one. So, watch the next one when it comes out.